One more refresh, and we should be good to go. Excellent, excellent. We are already setting up
Facebook and
right
make sure we
now.
are streaming live. So just hold on 1 second, Stephanie.
We are good to go on Facebook, and now we're going to do the same thing with YouTube and all the other social sites. Guys, you are going to be in for a treat because I have a young lady here that is crushing it, and I do mean crushing it in the actual space of working with nonprofits and all that good stuff. So definitely stay tuned for this interview. It's going to be something that you really are going to want to be a part of. So let's go ahead and get everything rolling. This is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, with my special guest, superstar extraordinaire, the woman with 1,001 jobs. Everybody, I am currently speaking with Miss Stephanie Poplar. Stephanie, say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now, for those of you who don't know, I had the opportunity to meet Stephanie, my wife and I, meet Stephanie several years ago. Hold on. And she is what you would call someone that is banging it in the space of in the space of working with nonprofits, in the space of doing things with other individuals as a realtor. I mean, she literally has 1,001 jobs. But I kid you not, when it comes to doing nonprofits, she is a beast, and that's the actual topic of today's conversation, is how to use a nonprofit to invest in real estate. Stephanie, I know I didn't give you any justice when it comes to exactly what you're doing, but first and foremost, tell everybody exactly who you are.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you, Real Estate Duru, for Mad Scientist, for allowing me to come on to your platform to disseminate all types of information to enrich our listeners or your listeners. And so, just to share with the listeners and the audience, I have my master's from University of Baltimore in legal, ethical, historical studies. So I've learned about corporate structures, and with learning about corporate structures, for some reason or another, I've been passionate about the not-for-profit, which we often call a 501c3. I've been setting up 501c3s for well over 22 years, had my real estate license for 10 years plus. So I've been able to combine a variety of skill sets to help a 501c3 or to help the real estate investor on how to incorporate a nonprofit for its 50 for its for profit. So in other words, teaching about cause related marketing.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that for us, you've helped us set up our nonprofit. My wife and I love the work that you've done with the nonprofit. You've done a lot of other individuals working with them with nonprofits. Tell me, based on your experience on there, what is it that investors are looking for when they're setting up a nonprofit? Why are they coming to you to get one set up?
All right, that's excellent because oftentimes the real estate investor is coming from a for-profit standpoint. His or her entity may be an S corp or a C corp, closed corporation, or LLC, limited liability corporation. That real estate investor oftentimes is thinking only about how he or she could fundraise or how he or she could get the funding, adequate funding from a hard money lender and or use his or her retirement, the 401k, to fund a project. And one of the things that I tend to do is encourage the real estate investors to think about a cause related marketing. If you have a for-profit investment firm, you most definitely want to create a nonprofit arm. For example, assisted living. Let's say that you have a property and the property is under your real estate investing firm, and but it's not producing. Perhaps we need to do assisted living or transitional housing. So that's where I give the strategy that it's illegal. You can create a nonprofit, a nonprofit 501c3 in hopes to help relieve the different population. When I say different population, we're talking about the elderly, we may be talking about single parents, we may be talking about that. So, what better way to create a nonprofit arm that works in conjunction with your for profit entity? Not only will you benefit in creating this, I'm going to say nonprofit arm, but also you could apply for grants. We are creating a new platform whereby we're telling you where the funding sources are. If you have 501c3, we will research, tell you how you can tap into the necessary grants. But also, what is important, just the same way with a for profit investment firm, you're looking for private, I would say, private individuals to loan you money. How about using your nonprofit if you already have a real estate tie or connection? When I say real estate tie connection, in other words, I'm talking about the mission. If you have your mission incorporates, let's say you say to empower families, and I'm just throwing out an example to empower families by providing resources, housing resources, or so forth. You can have the public, the general public, to give you donations, and only 501c3s can give tax write offs. There have been cases where houses have been donated. I just had a situation, and I'm still working it out, where a lady is donating. Her nonprofit no longer wants her five properties, so she's donating. But then I had another scenario where a person wasn't a nonprofit but had a property and just wanted to give it away.
Right.
So only with 501c3s you can reap that benefit. But it has so many benefits that it will behoove you to walk away. In other words, it's a mandate for you to have a nonprofit 501c3.
Yeah, I know of an investor, a very, very well adjusted investor who's really been in the business for a number of years. He has nonprofit where individuals give him houses that he
Yeah.
used in his nonprofit, and he financed the actual mission statement of the nonprofits, which is taking care of abused animals. So
Wow.
I'm very familiar with what you're talking about. As a matter of fact, that was one of the reasons why my wife and I, Tammy, had you help set up our nonprofit Dream Architect as a way to actually help youth and help individuals in the Baltimore, D.C., Maryland area to use real estate as a conduit for success. So I want you to go a little bit further in the
Yeah.
benefits, but maybe let's start off with what type of nonprofits are there? Because I know you keep on mentioning about the 501c. Is there other
Yeah.
types of nonprofit? Let people know
Um,
exactly what are the different types of nonprofits and what
yeah.
are the
It's all.
benefits of those
Yeah.
nonprofits.
So the Internal Revenue Code has, or the Internal Revenue Service has many, I would say, classifications. But in order for you to get a 501(c)(3), you either have to be providing services to relieve the poor, for charitable purposes, religious purposes, scientific purposes. And so, based on those purposes, which is pretty broad, I know how to structure it. When I say structure it, how to structure your mission statement. Also, we have what we have, or the IRS has, is the NTEE code. Based on what you're saying your mission is, would determine what we would tell the IRS your code is. So there are other classifications, 501c4, but and other designated classifications. But the 501c3 is the one that would allow the public to support. The public can give monetary donations. The public can give support as it relates to real property, donating those houses or donating the land. Even personal property. I had a situation or a scenario that one of my cousins, he would find individuals who wanted to donate their cars,
Wow.
and cars were donated. And the resources after the sale of the car could go back to the programming. Programming could be, so you know, if you want to buy a house, or programming could be that you want to do a training for disadvantaged youth. So where there's a will, there's a way. So one of the things I do is identify what you want to do, and we structure it where I have to guarantee your 501c3 status. So whatever, how long ever it takes, I have to guarantee that you will get the status. Along with that, we're doing more technical assistance because it's just a powerful resource. If I could share with you, many investors don't know that Home Depot, Lowe's, all the different stores where you're purchasing your inventory, that if you had a 501c3 and you were going to contract and not going to compete with them, you could actually be given, pay a membership, and you could be given inventory. It may be inventory out of stock. It may be, let's see, new windows. It could be some furnishing. It could be a variety
Nice.
of things. You just cannot sell it. You can't compete with the retailer.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You could, if you had a nonprofit, 501c, you could actually go to Home Depots, Lowe's, sign a couple of pieces of paper, and they would actually donate either, like you just mentioned, stock that is no longer in they're giving away, or just basically out of stock merchandise to your actual business that you could actually use in your rehabs, use in your deals,
Exactly.
as long as you're not selling them.
Exactly, exactly. And if I can share with you that it's a network, and through my network, we can do the paperwork, get you that membership. Not only does Lowe's have that, um, Walmart, Costco. So just imagine if you,
Right.
for those individuals who are working on, I want to say, staging your house, you could actually get some inventory that you didn't have to pay. May have cost thousands of dollars, but for you, may have been $1, $5. So we specialize in also showing and showing the nonprofit 501c3 if they want to get items to bless their, I'll say, their network, their customers. We call the word customers. The customers could be the seniors, the elderly, um, the youth, whatever your customer is. There are retailers, manufacturers that are looking to partner because they need the write-offs, they need tax deductible statements.
Thank you. Mike Raseka, welcome to the actual broadcast. My man, Miles, welcome to the broadcast. Tony Green, welcome to the broadcast. Sam, welcome to the broadcast. My beautiful wife, Tammy Blair, welcome to the broadcast. We got Brian on the broadcast. My man, Larry Leitner, back again. Welcome to the broadcast. If you guys have any questions for Stephanie and how to really start either putting into practice adding a nonprofit to your arsenal, or just how to get in touch and how to use a nonprofit, make sure you put those comments below. Heart it up, guys. Let me know how the sound is coming out. If you hear me loud and clear, leave me some comments below. Let me know the sound is good. We're going to continue down the questioning and where we're going at right now. Now, Stephanie, you've been doing this for a number of years now. How many 501(c)(3)s, if you had to guesstimate, that you've set up for individuals over the years?
I would like to say maybe close to, is this a raw, would be anywhere from 700 to maybe 1,000.
Ooh, that's a
And
lot of
I've also done other technical assistance for the 501c3.
that's a lot of nonprofits out there that got your blessings behind it.
Yes, yes. So I call myself a midwife. I help people birth that nonprofit. So oftentimes, if I can share, I have a lot of executives that, Stephanie, I'm an executive. I know my industry. I know my sicko. I'm trusting in the people that you really know how to do this 501c3 because I'm scared. I don't know if I'll really get it. And my statement to them is, you will get it as long as you share the vision and the mission statement or mission. So I will be able to know how to structure. Again, you keep hearing me say structure. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm guaranteeing you that you will get that 501c3 by any means necessary because I already know what is needed. And also, if I could share with you that there have been a couple real estate investors who actually needed to get their tax, they wanted to save money. They did traveling, and or when they go out to dinner, they need to save money. Or not even just going out to dinner to save money, but when they buy furniture. So just imagine if you're buying $10,000 worth of furniture and you have your state tax exempt card, those taxes are waived.
Wow. Now, you just bring up a very good point about the nonprofit itself. How long does it normally take from the time you start working on the nonprofit to the time that it's recognized by the IRS as a nonprofit?
That's an excellent question because it has been varied. There have been cases where it's been 21 days. There's been cases where it's been, I want to say, 180 days. But for the most part, when there's a limping, what happens is the IRS will go back and they will um, backdate it from the original date that I've actually registered the nonprofit. So
Okay.
they will backdate it. So let's say that it was in November and it was filed, you got your paper. I'm just saying hypothetically, you got your paperwork 120 days later. It will be backdated to the original date, which is unique.
So you're looking at, like you just mentioned, anywhere from 21 days as much as 120 days for it to be recognized by the IRS.
Yes. And it depends because sometimes we have to understand that uh, IRS, the representatives are human too. And sometimes, so I've had to actually have to explain, sometimes I have to educate sometimes the IRS representative, and that's been bizarre. There have been times I've actually had to go, I had to fly in. I would say New York is a perfect state. I've actually had to fly into New York and find out what's going on. You're messing me up. We have a process. So I would say that I'm one of those hands-on that if I need to go to New York, I'll go to New York. If I have to go to PA, Georgia. So there's no limitation of where a 501c3 can be established.
Which was going to bring me to my next question. Are you able to do them all across the country? And based on that answer, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay, give me a. I know like I said, one of the things or strategies that investors could use with the 501c is buying HUD homes. Could you go a
Yes.
little bit into that, how that works and so on?
It's ironic you would ask me that because I've been off for a couple of weeks, but still making things happen. And I went back into my email and found my point of contact, and I just sent her an email. I was in conversation with her out of Philadelphia for HUD, and I actually found the actual application that the entity would need to fill out. So
Hmm.
when it comes to the HUD homes, first and foremost, whether you have that designation, that certification through HUD or not, nonprofits have that first
Right.
right of refusal. They have the right to be able to purchase the HUD homes faster than the average individual. So that's a positive. I would say that is most definitely a positive note. Now, as it relates to becoming 50, after you become 501c3, but most importantly, after you've done 5 transactions and it's documented, it could be that you renovated some homes and you did an affordable housing project, and or you helped a low income and you furnished low income. But HUD just needs to see a paper trail, see
Right.
that you actually did 5. Then you're eligible to get reduction as much as up to 50% for getting the HUD homes. So
Okay.
just imagine, and you're not limited. You would tell the geographical locations where you're placing these homes or doing a housing project or program. So if you want to do the DMV, just throwing out an example, District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia, you would just disclose on your application where you're looking to be able to purchase the HUD
Right.
homes, and you could get special code. And if I could share with you, I started going back into my emails. Some of the banks, Wells Fargo, name it, different banks, they had programs where possibly you do the paperwork. There's no guarantee. However, that 501c3 opening up opportunities for you to network with the banks that have the foreclosed properties. So that it
Nice.
may be a creative way where you may get a house donated at reduced costs.
Now, I love exactly what you're saying because the strategy, I know an investor who's actually using the nonprofit strategy to buy HUD homes. Just like you said, as a nonprofit dealing with HUD foreclosures, you are one of the earlier adopters into buying those properties. You can get them before the real estate investor, which means you have the opportunity to put a bid in before the real estate investor. However, I did not know about the situation where if you buy 5 HUD homes, that the next homes after that you can get for 50% off that price. That is huge.
Yeah, up to 50%. Yes. Yes.
Man,
And so the paperwork, I have the paperwork. I sent the email. I'll see if there has been any changes to the actual application.
got it. So, Larry, man, I know you're loving this information. Thank you for being on the broadcast. Kirk, thank you for being on the broadcast. Jimmy, I appreciate your time. Melvin, welcome to the broadcast, my friend. I'm with my special guest, Stephanie Poplar. Get5013cnow.com. That's the hashtag, Get5013cnow. So, guys, we're going to continue this conversation. We got about another 8 minutes. If you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear those questions from you. Anything in regards to working with a 5013 and nonprofit. Stephanie, give me a sense of what does that, I know you talked about the fact that it's somewhere between anywhere from 21 days to 120 days. My wife wanted me to bring up to the point that you will be one of the main speakers on this year's Real Deal Meetup Cruise.
And I am super excited. I want to say that you are the king. I'm calling you king. And I know Queen Tammy does not matter. Doesn't mind that I call you king. I want to say king of real estate and bringing us together on the Real Deal Meetup Cruise. If I could just share this with you, no, Mr. Blair, Mr. Blair did not say this, but if you are a real estate investor, you cannot afford to miss the ship. Get on the ship. Your life will change. The resources, the contacts, the information that you will receive at the seminars and see will change your life. It will give you the necessary tools to win. And so I just want to say that this is a great platform, the 5th year. And we know 5 is symbolic oftentimes. Many people say it's for grace. You don't want to miss the Real Deal Meetup Cruise. It's a necessary, it's a mandate. And it's a win-win because not only are you tying in your little personal, but also you're tying in business and you can write it off. I want to see you there and I will have more resources to disseminate in these workshops.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. My wife and I definitely appreciate the plug. Give everybody an idea how they can reach out to you if they want to reach out with you with a nonprofit and so on.
All right. Well, first of all, I am the networking sister. And so my website, which is up, is www.networking, networking, sister, SISTA.net. I had to think for a moment. Networking.net. But also, I want to give you my phone number. The phone number is 443-857-1549. And you can act down today. You can text, and if you want additional information, you may receive that. Let's get you your 501c3 before we sail. And if I could share with you, the acting now, we have, before we get on the cruise, we will have that website, Get 501c now up and available. But right now, go to the networkingsister.net or give me a call at 443-857-1549. I'm on all social media platforms, but primarily Facebook. I'm almost at the 5,000 mark. I think I'm at 4,997 people. I keep deleting a few. But you could request to be my friend, or you could go to Instagram, Poplar Best Resource, Poplar POPLAR Resource, RESOURCE Best BEST, Poplar Best Resource, Poplar Best Resource. Yes, hit the sister up.
So I got your I got your information down there. I put down there the networkingsister.net. I also got your telephone number on there, which is at 443-857-1549. And I know everybody on the broadcast appreciate the time you took this evening. Is there any other thing you want to lead out with as we go off of this broadcast that you want people to know about that nonprofit and about working with you?
Well, it's June. This is the sixth month. So you could get your 501(c)(3) before the year's out. Let's make it happen. If you have done a lot of deals or you're a high net worth wage earner and you need some write offs, why not invest in yourself? Not saying to not give to any other person's nonprofit or 501(c)(3), but why not be a beneficiary of yourself? There are some creative ways that I'm going to share on the Real Deal Meetup Cruise, how you can use insurance and how you can do some other creative things to really grow and leave a legacy behind and build your family while building real estate.
Now, I know one of the things that I want you to touch upon before we go off, you mentioned earlier about that tax exempt card. Let people know exactly the power of that and what exactly do you mean when you say you could get a tax exempt nonprofit.
Yes, so one of the main criteria is obtaining the federal. Oftentimes people say, well, state, you should be able to go in to the controller office. And it doesn't happen like that. Everything is a process, everything requires paperwork. So once you have that determination letter and have your board members to sign the bylaws, and that's something you don't have to worry about, that the bylaws are created, it is designed with your mission in mind. Once you have that and you have a few of your, I would say, your board members' social. And there's a couple other things. We will compile it as a compilation. We would take it to the controller's office. Sometimes people can mail it, but I like checks and balances since there has been few challenges. But once you get the paperwork in, it's about for Maryland, the state of Maryland, it's roughly about 30, I want to say 30 to 45 days. But what I found is that there's a legal team, so a team of lawyers, they just do their checks and balances and make sure, that everything is legitimate. But the state is the state. But so you're giving them paperwork, you're actually giving them certified copies of your articles, whether it's in Maryland, whether it's in PA. I find that most jurisdictions, most states are asking for the same documentation. Also, they're asking for the 990. So some of the things that sound so technical, just understand that you're not alone. You could receive assistance from me with that. So once you get your state tax exempt card, and maybe perhaps the next time you have me on, I can actually show how it looks. You go into that store, whether it be J.C. Penney's, Ross, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever store that you would go into, you will go into, you most definitely will give it to them before they do the transaction. And once they do the transaction, you may hear this 7-year-old trying to tell me he's hungry. So then once you do the transaction, then be quiet while I'm on this line. All right. So once you do the transaction, the taxes will be taken off right then and there in the midst of the transaction. So you will see, wow, the taxes was $50. Taxes was 100. Oh my gosh, the taxes was $10. That's more money in your pocket. So of course they will have you to sign, and that's about it. It can be used only one store that I know won't use it, and that's Macy's. But for
Got
the
you.
most part, Avid. So you might be having to meet with other real estate investors, builders,
Mm-hmm.
whomever it may be. That tax exempt card, you will furnish it. Of course, it will be given back to you. So you will get taxes taken off.
Final question. My guy Melvin Griffin asks, do you also set up trusts?
You know what? We started learning about revocable trust and irrevocable trust, and that's a resource that's coming down the pipe. There's a class that I'll be taking in another month, so I'm knowledgeable about that. But I do have a network of lawyers that work with me.
Okay. Now, everybody, I want to say thank you for being on the broadcast. Felissa, Phyllis, thank you. Henry, thank you. Melvin, thank you. Timothy, thank you for being on the broadcast. Harriet Bell, thank you for being on the broadcast. Terry, thank you for being on the broadcast. This is Charles Blair along with my special guest, Stephanie Poplar. And I want to say thank you, Stephanie, for being here. Any last closing words you want to give?
I want to just say thank you. I have a 7-year-old. As often people know, I'm 45 with a 7-year-old. So I'm about to do my mommy duty. But I want to let you know that I'm here to still serve. Say hi. He said hi, everyone.
That boy is hungry. You got to go feed that boy. So you go ahead, Stephanie. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Or you'll be setting up a nonprofit to get me out of prison. So yeah, I'm back to you.